welcome back to my lovely HP community and the 5D Collective. As we were discussing in our previous episode, we have some messages for those of you who are committed to being yourself. The spiritual self-help mindful way in the 5D Collective, Mystics and Not, means that you know secure attachment, integration of the brain, restorative embodiment self, you're aware, accountable, regulating. And in fact, that's what makes you a life partner, because you breathe and you live life from the heart, and you're non-reactive, or better said, you're aware of when your nervous system is engaged, and you look to work with your left and your right. You put your left foot in and your right foot in, and you shake them all about. You do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around, and that's what it's all about. So we live, we love, we laugh, and we don't do humbug. Now, that's for the people who want to say, are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Da, 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 da. So yeah, the ones who do Tom and Jerry. When I go out into the world, yes, the big, interesting world, I know a lot of things. And that's for another day. Right now, I'm going to stay focused, because I actually just thought of somebody who made a comment about what you would delete from the earth. And that's the same person that doesn't know how to be wild thing, na 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 na, you make my heart sing, everything. So when you're a jaguar, which is what a feminine is, but the true feminine, not the fake ones, the distorted feminines, they like to capture the masculines. I like to see masculines rise above. And I will explain this in a minute. So, we all have masculine and feminine. I like to call the divine feminine my open heart and open mind and open body, body and heart. Divine masculine, the open mind. The left mode is the masculine, the right mode is the feminine. I won't explain all of why, but for those who will become mentorees and part of our masterclass and come to spiritual retreats, I'll explain it to you all, just because, we're going to be talking about it. So we want to use words that we can all follow along, and I'm the one who's the host. So the masculine breaks things up and wants it linear. So when you have the left alone, you have people do this. Excuse me, you're confusing sciences and spirituality. Those are all Cuscos. It's an adaptive pattern, a person who's a teenager version of themselves. We allow ourselves to have a good time, because Pacha don't lecture Cusco, but also it's Krishna Lila here, enlightenment, soul age group. I tease people when I'm talking about it, because they don't want to go to good therapy, and hey, they're living the highlight like the fancy lady and man in suits. So what should we say? They even have life partners. So with that being said, a left and right mode doesn't do, excuse me, you're confusing shit. They don't do that. Not in this, what year is it, 2024? They say, wow, I want to hear more. Tell me more. No, she did not put that. That's not, no. That's from our 3D ancestors. There are still people who want that. Yes, in fact, they get on screen and say, women, remember. Fancy women in suit. You pay them buttloads of money, like men in suits, to get their training and to heal. Yeah, they don't heal shit, but let's leave that one alone. What are we thinking about? Women, if they fuck you, remember. Don't think about it. Wedding bells and all these women who are giggling. I'm like, how old are you? Because, by the time I was 20, I was already aware that they're not going to fucking marry you. And they don't even know how to tell you that. All they want is to fuck you. So, first of all, I would have loved to shake the hand of the man who can actually do that. Second of all, a man who would do that, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to meet him. And I'm pretty sure I would hope that I have my man friends around me to look at them with an eye of, okay, you need to come now. And my men friends would come now. So luckily, I don't find myself in these situations. Why? Oh, healthy boundaries is why. So when people tell an empowered woman or man, hey, you should be more flexible about who you be friends with. Yeah, sure. You know what? You could use Terry Real so that you could learn about his lovely little... He has this thing, it's a square, right? So we got healthy self-worth people in the middle, which is Terry Real, myself, and anybody else who knows how to not feel shame or guilt for not wanting to be friends with the entire world, but also knowing how to unconsciously love the entire world. And that when someone says, then you don't, you know what, Cusco, have a good time. Sure. You want to tell me how I think and feel. I get it. You're a 3-year-old who decided that you want non-differentiated people. I'm a differentiated self. So I know how to be my own guitar string, let you play, and let you think that you're the lead and the chord, because the chorus, I don't want to use my breath with a teenager. Because anytime you hear me say teenager, it's a person who says, I know everything. And it's the left mode. Excuse me, you're confusing science and spiritual. No, I'm not. I'm not actually doing that. I'm bringing them to. No, you see, I'm a mystic too. Now you know you gotta chant. Now they just compare themselves to me. Wow. So this is called unbridled self-expression, Terry, right? Yeah. So that's great. I don't consider it that. I just consider it customary for people to do shit like this. So I'm just having a good time. I'm like, okay, let me pause my grown-up conversation, turn to you. So what I meant to say is this is what I do for a living on and I explain, and then they're like, you see, and now I get the tap. Now I got show and tell. My 3-year-old, who's a human being man, is still doing this, and I'm seeing Buddha on one arm and quantum physics on another, and I'm like, okay, you know what? How about this? I don't usually speak in Italian. I speak in English when I'm doing personal development and mysticism stuff, and I do a good portion in English. So maybe I'm misspeaking like a whole buttload, because even in English I do it. I'm bilingual. Let's call it a problem, shall we? It's fine. I'm okay with sounding stupid, because it really, I know that it's a way to get away from people who are not smart. And by the way, yeah, because superficial people, they are actively who do not want to grow up. They want to be Peter Pans, and they follow Peter Pans. And when I'm watching following the lead, I'm thinking, good boy, good girl. Did you think of wedding bells, or did you get upset that they didn't text you back? Did you know that there's contempt and disgust towards us women from a man after fucking us and not texting us back? Apparently there's also shame. I just don't know if the shame is towards me or them, and then I don't know why the person who spoke these words didn't say therapy. Oh, they're against the good therapists, just like the other fancy lady in a suit. So you know who the holders are of that shame button. Yeah, oh, that frequency is not in any way, shape, or form threatening. You go near it, it ain't Lucifer. So the 3-year-old, now that he's gotten the floor, I'm just saying, okay, I bet we're going to end up at the same place. So how about you tell me what you're thinking? Because I don't have time to explain to you everything. There's music. I don't speak in Italian all the time about my stuff. And we did. We ended up in the same place. I said, great. I might share with you some books. In the meantime, I'm going to get back to my grown-up conversation. So that person is not committed to being their self. No. They're committed to being the version of their self that has a paused button, because their first 8 years of life plus that 16-year-old. Yeah, so whenever you hear a person who doesn't know how to share the floor and be fun, you got a Cusco. Now, here's the thing. We all can have emotional little buttons, which is why, as I said in our other episode, committing to being yourself, well, it's really fun. You live, you love, you laugh. I love to love, and my baby, he loves to dance, So the messages for my lovely self-help group. Here we are, the beauty way. This one is for those of you who have finally been able to master using the left and the right, which is really amazing, because you're your own medicine wheel. Why? When you have your core self, your narrative, relational, and solo self. By the way, I learned from a lot of smart people. I don't know any of this shit if there wasn't Dr. Daniel Siegel, Bezo Vanderkolk, Stephen Porges, Janina Fisher. The mysticism is a bonus. I love that I come, first of all, with God and Jesus and Holy Spirit. However, my clairs, which are also known as the spiritual gifts, we are not going to put them into boxes, because the neuroscience, quantum physicist community, and all the ones who look into this problem of consciousness, they all know about it. So can we please allow ourselves to just have the leveling out plane? Some people have this lovely relationship. You can call it whatever you want. We respect all groups, and some people will never, ever, ever want to be around us. It's okay. If you're a Reiki master, please respect and share with people that Reiki is considered a yucky energy by some of those within the Christian community. I'm part of it. But again, respect is important, and also mindfulness. It's not about being a Buddhist, but you want to understand why some people will be against it. Also, tarot, Akashic record readings. We want to understand that some people, they are being informed, educated, and given information from others. So you being non-reactive is very important. And that's why I love to be able to love and love to dance. And, oh, polyamory crew, come on. Securely attached polyamory. We have a good time. I remember one of my friends, so does it mean I can fuck you? No. Can I kiss you? No. Does it mean you're traumatized? No. And I have fun with it. In fact, my friend, he gave me a lot of opportunities to continue talking about it. And then I got this one dude, he's like, but you're all masochists. And I say, no, not the healthy self-worth ones aren't. And the guy says, but that's hard to do. And I'm like, shit. I said, well, you made choices that you're happy about for your life. You told me that you let your parents choose for you what job to do. Aren't you happy? You're happy, right? And when you tell empowered men the story, they're like, oh shit. This is one of my empowered men friends as I was talking to him about polyamory, and he responded as an empowered man will do. I like you. We got a thing. I don't give a shit about polyamory, meaning it's okay, I can share you. And you talk about it. But he laughed with me about this dude who basically said it's hard to be healthy self-worth. And I'm like, what do? You can't really, present to them like, did you hear what you just said? Therapy would be really great for you. But I mean, hey, let me not be the one. Ancient one. So long story short, we're the 5D collective here, committed to being a whole 3-year-old heart. New stories. The new stories are, whenever you see Pinocchio, if he's on that island, you got Cusco, and you got a squirrel, and you got, it ain't lust, because people are in a, what is it called? So I saw a bunch of different figures between religious, and I'm going to say they're not the subject matter experts that I learned from. Like the fancy woman in a suit and the fancy man, yeah, they're hilarious, because what they give is completely for people who will stay within their herd. I'm not with those people. I'd rather be, what's the word? Cast a stone. Please do. Because, at the end of the day, I'm good with your stone. I have integrity. I'm not ashamed of Maria. Your words actually tell me everything about how you can welcome differences or not. So if you don't welcome differences, I know you're not a person who's open-minded. You're not open-hearted. You're actually not from the year 2024. And honestly, I'm not an ignorant human being. I'm not uneducated. So when you learn that neuroscientists prove there's no demonic possession and mental health professionals, and you're a person of faith, you don't say, it's not true. No. And actually, here's the thing about blind faith and true faith. God always wins. I mean, really, creatorship. The fact that ego thinks is such a... So again, I'm an embodied feminine. I eat ego for breakfast. What I'm trying to say is anytime somebody wants to bring to me a superhero, super villain battle, I'm like, okay, you must be confused, Cusco. You think you play a big part in this dark matter, dark energy. I mean, really, you don't, because an asteroid hits the earth, we're done, all of us. It's very straightforward how to keep it leveled plane. So groundedness means this, at least here at IHP, and we love, in fact, again, cultivating intelligent perspectives. I try to not be around those who are not intelligent, meaning my social time is small so that I can be surrounded by voices that teach me things, like my subject matter experts. And then I make fun of the fancy man and woman in suit because they don't know how to... they wield their words and their brain and their mind. I'm going to say lack of intelligence for evil is a bullshit statement, and I laugh every time I hear it, but I know who they're playing to. Yeah, I know the crowd. Again, that's not our crowd. 5D Collective doesn't think about a blade in a way that we need to use it. We use it wisely because we care. So when you have committed to this, basically, whoever you are watching, again, being connected to that which is the upper sphere is different for every one of us. This is how I channel, this is how I do messages, but I'm here, I'm participating. When you are your own staff, that's because you own your own subconscious, which is really good. That way you don't have to play out Cusco, and that's when you're going to ground your own feminine here on earth, and you're going to be aligned. So this alignment that comes forth is really empowering. It's invigorating and energizing, as Dr. Daniel Siegel presents when he explains what integration of the brain is, and when you have a whole self, and when you have, therefore, your core narrative, relational, and solo self. So I bring all of this together, again, for the ones who want to do mindfulness and spirituality. The ones who know what's in their body. Wild thing, no, you make my heart sing. You mean everything. So wild thing is not about lust. In fact, you'll know the difference, because integrity is going to be, I walk a walk and talk a talk. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots will walk all over you. But no, we don't walk on people. We allow ourselves to be the bigger person. And like the hummingbird, you continue to be ventral vagal state. That's why there's integrity. Pacha is the perfect example. After Cusco tries to kill him off, he keeps his word. Because Pacha, when he went to shake, he said, don't shake if you don't mean it. And here's what an inner child adult can tell you. The first time I watched this, I thought I thought he had a change of heart. I didn't think he was doing what he was doing. And when he did what he did, and then when he accused him of wanting to keep him stuck because of the whole Yzma thing, that is called unresolved trauma from a person who will have doubted a kind person more because they had inner childhood trauma. So the stories I use, they can relate to when I bring to you Patrick Tiahan, and he explains why a person, you don't have to forgive, but if you go and get healed, you're going to start dating the right person, be with the right people, be your true self versus be a pause self. So fancy man and woman soup, they're there for people who want to stay with that, and we're going to have a rainbow of colors. It's always been the case on our lovely planet. That is why the 4D community of mystics oh, what they did with the twin flame thing, and they're on wave 4, and then they're making up so many other stories, but they want to have a fun pseudo alive life, have fun being fake alive. It's really not fascinating to see it on screen with a shaman, with people who have titles bigger than mine, with a Zen master. I mean, this is completely absurd to me because I can see right through you, because you're not a person who's committed to being yourself. You are still a person that's only using your left, and you haven't cultivated your emotional plane, because every time you stub your fucking toe, you got some shit going down. There's a battle going on. There's your 16-year-old. You're never going to learn how to embody restorative because you're in a modulated embodied experience, and your sympathetic will show because you're a small energy compared to what you could be. And really, again, Cusco's attitude is all over the place. The minute you are being spiteful, that's why it's not Lucifer. It's a spiteful, small energy. Being able to own your sense of self, your core self, narrative, relational, that's empowering. You're your own witness. Observe, witness, narrate. You get to become whatever you want. The corn, I want to read the corn too, though, because that one has a deeper message for us. So give me a second. And let's see. And then I'll let you all go for the day. Yes. Okay. So, in case you're curious, the corn represents the mother of sustenance and tangible abundance. The symbol represents material prosperity in the world of form that provides stability and sustenance to many. There is more than enough. The invitation: you planted a beautiful field of dreams and worked hard. Even in moments when you were losing faith, you continued. Now the spirit of the corn comes to honor this and show you a bountiful harvest. This is the time to reap the rewards of hard work and trust, whether those rewards are financial or the kind of prosperity measured in quality rather than quantity. You are so blessed when this symbol appears. Don't forget to share your good fortunes. Your good fortune. So once you have been able to become yourself in the way that we talk about here, you will know of feeling like this all the time. And then you will also be very grateful for the people around you. And that's what makes you a life partner and life partnerships and secure connections and secure attachment relationships. But secure attachment relationships are decided by two people together. You don't just wing it, because that's where we have 24 hours in a day. You want to build a home, you're going to have important conversations. Otherwise, you're not building anything. When standstill appears, it's a symbol of pausing, the act of observation and breathing space. It represents the benefits of temporary non-action, as well as what happens when one is stuck. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you all, because we use the 3 together, and that's how, see, readers, we don't do card by card. This has a meaning altogether. So as I said, when you own your sense of self, you witness, observe, witness, narrate. Okay, so in the standstill, this is where you can sit with your thoughts and your emotions. And in the inner growth mindset, we talk about neutrality and duality. And so if you're able to be there, pausing, this is mindfulness. And the Zen master calls his emotions laundry. You don't call it laundry. You say, thank you. Look at what I've planted. Look at what I'm harvesting. Look at how I'm working. And now we have a connection to our upper world for those of you who have clairs. And you will know of it as always being blessed, because if my feet are here and my hands are here and I got health, then really I have nothing to cry or whine about, meaning that moods and emotions are completely part of life. But I'm saying you don't be like, somebody did me wrong. You know what? Someone put a spell on me and now you're mine, mine, mine. Yeah, so no, we don't do that. Anybody watch Aladdin? You cannot put a spell on love. Yeah, that doesn't work. Actually, I have a story for you on that one. So the upper world and the tree of life, we're able to share with each other a lot. So I'll have this written out for next week because there's more to the messages, but again, not right now. And I just love to share with you all, because anyone who is also intuitive, they're going to get their own hit as they look at these lovely, lovely cards. And they're not just cards. Some people, when they do a flip, they like to say, I'm still going to make tarot cards, but they're just cardboard. Every actual deck has a lot to it. So when you really want to hone in on the message, which I love to, but for me, again, it's themes, you sit with them and then you allow yourself to channel and you write down and then you bring it to your lovely community like I do. Okay, and I was going to share one more thing. What was it? I lost it. But we will conclude with, when you are choosing how to live life, if you've committed to being yourself, then you've committed to being happy, and you've committed to those basics, and you've committed to a bigger picture, you're going to surround yourself with healthy people. The ones who think and they feel and they also do respect tradition, but not because we stay old-fashioned. Observing, witnessing, narrating means that I can know where I come from, so that Maria has opinions from her own stuff, like we talked about those teenagers that lied to me, and that when they told me what they told me, I found it completely valid, meaning that it made sense that based on their experiences that they would make that they made the choices they made, because their friendships were ruined because of speaking up. So you don't deny somebody's explanation just because you think that they should have had the capacity to tell you the truth. It's still a choice to say, I want to tell you the truth. And when you understand how deep is your love, how deep is your love, I really want. So if you don't love yourself first because you have inner childhood trauma stuff, you're not going to be able to go deep, because you're consistently with shame and guilt and fear in a very different way, which is why I can understand even more these people as teenagers. But understanding doesn't mean I say live that way. No, I say, to me, that's a coward. So as an empowered woman, I have not ever chosen to hide a truth. If somebody doesn't like me because I say a truth, it's okay. I'll take it. If I've done something wrong, I'll take it. I'll accept. I'll apologize if I did something wrong. And if instead I'm meeting a Cusco who's basically helpless, insecure, and being an asshole, I'll still apologize. But it's because I'm doing what is common courtesy, since I was taught how to be a decent human being, since it's the polite thing to do. My mother taught me manners. And some people say, well, why would you apologize then? Well, because there's a person in front of me who's upset, like the man, am I not decent enough to be saluted? I mean, wow, to use that word tells me that you feel not decent, number one. I don't feel guilty or shame because I'm an empowered inner child, but I know common sense as a grown human being, which is why the next time I saw the human being, I acknowledged them with my eye gaze, because that was my compromise. I will not salute you because I consistently showed you I don't want to be your friend. But you made me aware of how shame you feel of yourself, that I cannot, humanly speaking, disregard it. And what does the person do? At least you looked at me. So that apparently is passive aggressive, which to me it's not passive aggressive. I looked at him as he speaks his words. I turned to my friend who I was saluting, and I salute my friend, and I just leave it alone. I don't speak because non-reactive is I'm the bigger person. Also, I got a person in front of me who has a lack of healthy boundaries. So even if I speak, doesn't matter. I'd be a Cusco just like they are. Oh, and I'm not a Cusco. I wasn't a Cusco as a teenager, and that's because, again, my 3-year-old, she can share a floor. I have a twin. We can say I've been determined, but also God taught me to be humble, and Jesus taught me to turn the other cheek, and I understood what those meant. They mean to be a restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating person who's mindfully living, spiritually living. So self-help is for the people who want to do more. We'll be back with more. Again, committing to being yourself makes you not only a true, lovely partner to yourself, it also makes you a true partner to another, because you're going to walk a walk and talk a talk. And I love to love, and my baby, he loves to dance, but also the boots, Nancy's boots. I like that one today for some reason. I like the sound of it. These boots are made for walking, and they'll walk very far. And thank you again for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back with more again soon.